Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Seeking Sister Wife, Season 5, Episode 9. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content, honey, and share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you do not have to search Misha IMO Seeking Sister Wife. Seeking Sister Wife Misha. Is Misha talking about Seeking Sister Wife? Honey, let's just get into it if we're going to get into it. Child, I'm going to tell y'all right now, this episode was boring. Okay, when I tell you boring, I fell asleep at least 3 times, honey. And this is why it's coming to you when it's coming to you, child, because it gave absolutely nothing. But here we go. When the episode first opens up, Tasha Jones' man, Sidian, is still in Philippines with Ariel. So he set up a little beach day with Ariel, honey. They got their back facing the sunset. Who watches the sunset backwards? Sidian, get it together, honey, or leave it alone. But I have to say this, child, he's living his best life in the Philippines with Ariel. Quiet as it's kept, honey, it don't look like he want to come back, but you ain't heard that from me. Tasha Jones, you ain't heard that from me. So she was like, there are things that are happening and everything's going well, and I'll be happy to continue being intimate with Sidian. And girl, we don't need to know you're gonna be happy to be intimate with Sidian, child. Just do it, honey. Ugh. So they're sitting there and they decide to call Tasha Jones. Hey, Tasha Jones. Oh my goodness. The way that I love this woman's name, honey. And it's so funny because it's a black girl's name, honey. It sounds kind of like a black girl from around the way. But then you see her and you're like, that's Tasha Jones. It gives me the same thing like on Beverly Hills Housewives when I say Diana Jenkins. And yes, I pronounce her name Diana Jenkins on purpose. Okay. I make sure I put as much stank on Jenkins as I possibly can, even though I know that it's Diana Jenkins. Moving forward. So they call Tasha Jones, honey, and they want to talk to her because they just want to see, how she's feeling. And she's like, I feel lonely because this is like the longest time that I've been away from Sidian. So, as they're talking, Ariel is saying in her confessional that she feels like, she kind of stole Sidian away, for a few days, and it makes her feel bad. Well, it's okay, child. She'll be okay. She practically recruited you and pushed him to the Philippines. Honey, she would have walked him down there if she could. But, this is what happened. She'll be all right. Moving forward. So they're talking, and she asked if they had been intimate, and Sidian was hemming and hawing at first, and she was like, she wants to know what? If y'all got it popping, honey. Did y'all get it popping or not? So he eventually said, yeah, and he's like, what do you want to know about it? If she can join, child. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Child, that's what she want to know. So Ariel was like, I'm always going to ask for Tasha's consent. Consent to do what? Girl, y'all so crazy, child. Let's continue. Child, Sidian and them so dry. Basically, Ariel is down for the mess and Tasha Jones is the facilitator. On over to the Merrifields, Danielle and Ick. So Danielle goes for coffee with her brother Sam, who got all the sense, honey, because he got to help Danielle navigate life. And they sit down because he wants to talk to her. So Ick and Danielle are leaving for Brazil soon to go see Bert. But she's nervous because they have some things to discuss. So she was like, best case scenario is Bert is coming home with us. And worst case is she doesn't want to come. Well, child, get ready for the worst case. I'm just saying. So they started talking about Roberta possibly not coming. And Danielle said, she doesn't want to leave her mom. So that's probably why she doesn't want to come. But they all committed to each other. Danielle, I really hate when you say that, honey. Danielle. Y'all are not committed to each other, honey. The only 2 people that are committed, all of y'all should be committed, honey, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, the only 2 people that are committed is Garrick and Roberta. And as I continue to watch, the only person really committed would be Ick. I'm just saying. So they started talking about her, and then Danielle said, there have been a lot of doubts. Like they have doubts about sending her money. Oh, y'all sending her money and she still ain't came? Oh, baby, she playing y'all, honey. She was like, I just wonder why she can't communicate. Why can't she do certain things? Why she can't get papers to the lawyer? She does not want to be involved with y'all. That's just the bottom line. Girl. So Danielle was like, if it were me, I would be booked on a flight as soon as my visa got approved. Yeah, Danielle, there are a lot of things that you do that most people wouldn't do. Okay, Roberta doesn't want to come, honey. She just wants your money. She has Ick crying at the sight of her. So, of course, he's going to do anything that he can do to make sure that she's happy. So she's telling her brother that, if when they go down there, if she says that she isn't coming, that it's going to be over. No, it's going to be over for you. Because Garrett going to make sure that he holds on as long as possible. And if it is over, I'm sure that's going to be okay, honey, because that's going to be right up your alley. So her brother is just worried about how things are going to affect the children, and both Danielle and Garrick, they both know that Bert is no longer interested in them. This is for the show. That's what I feel like. I feel like this is just for the show, and next season it's going to be somebody totally new. But quiet as it's kept, we do not need Danielle and Ick back again. Moving forward. So then Danielle is like, Garrick wants to try for babies once he gets down there. He wants to try again. So her brother is like the only one with some sense. Because he goes, doesn't she need to be committed to you guys first before y'all try to have a baby with her? Garrick is hoping to get her pregnant so that he can be with her forever, tied to Roberta. That's what he's hoping. So she goes, I need to talk to him because, I don't feel like he should try until she's here. Girl, you don't say. So her brother is like, yeah, because if she has it, then, she stays in Brazil. Garrick is going to want to move down there with her. And I can guarantee y'all that he would leave all of them to move to be with Roberta, his children included. That brother has his doubts that she will even show up. Honey, and won't. On over to the Epps. Child, Marcus is telling us about the sneak attack that he planned for Janae. So he and Taryn are laying in the bed. Honey got this little bit toe wife beat on. Okay, sir. Oh, honey. So he's laying in the bed with Taryn and India comes in. Ugh. Okay. Can we wait till they freshen their breath before we start filming? Now, I don't know if they woke up, then got back in the bed, and then y'all started filming. But knowing the men on this show, I'm pretty sure this was a fresh out of bed, fresh awake, let's start filming type of situation. So India wants to know, how the date went. So he was like, it was one of the craziest dates I've ever had in my life. So he's telling them that he messed up the date by asking her questions first, because in turn, she was asking him questions back. So India said, in her confessional, Marcus brought the idea to her, but if she was in Janae's shoes, she would feel the exact same way. Like, sir, why are you trying to trap me? But of course, y'all know Taryn. She's like, my reaction to Marcus was totally different. I really wasn't surprised because I've known him for so long. Well, child, of course you're okay with a piece of man. We already know how you get down. Then she was like, so, I just knew that was going to happen. Girl, you all right with a piece of man, and then said okay and allowed him to keep the woman and you, just so you could keep that piece of man. So he was like, I booked her a flight, and I told her, listen, in a couple of weeks, you either get on the flight or you don't, but the flight is booked. Child, I wish I would, honey. He would never see me again, ever. But because of the magic of TV, I'm sure she'll be on set. Moving forward. So he's like, I just never really got to the point. And she never really got to the point where she asked what all this was about. Why would she get to that point? You lied to her. Why would she sit up and say, although you got me here under false pretenses, what is this all about? It sounds intriguing. No, you look like a full-on nut. So then these two, the women that is, they're like, well, you know what? You should still try to chase her. Like, if you really want her, you should try to chase her. Say what now? Not one time did they say he should have never lied to her. Child, every week they never cease to amaze me, honey. Every week. I'm telling y'all. He's like, I'm going to try to, pursue her, but the ball is in her court. I don't know where things are going to go. To hell, hopefully. Moving forward. On over to the Merrifields. Danielle is back home and she's talking to Ick about the concerns that her brother had, right? So they go sit down. Child, Garrick's sitting here in this Peter Pan blouse, honey, aka sweater. Ew, child. Child, not this Peter Pan shirt, honey. It is fitting because he does need to grow the hell up, child. But just looking at him, let me just say this. First of all, he had those Coyote Ugly boots on the episode where they were playing in our faces over there with the other lady. And now this sweater, how can they possibly be aroused by him or even attracted to him? Like, I don't look at Garrick and go, whoo, he's going to get my motor running. Like, ugh. Okay, it's disgusting. So she brings up him trying for babies with Roberta. And she's like, I think you should try when she's here because, I feel better knowing that she's here. It'll make me feel more secure. Basically, so I know y'all not going to run off into the night over there into Brazil. I'm so tired of hearing about non-existent Bert and her coming to live in the compound. She's not coming, okay? She ain't coming. But for the sake of this show, we're going to continue on. Moving forward. So Garrick is listening to Danielle, honey, but then again, it's going in one ear and out the other. But then he goes, well, worst case is she doesn't come. Is she still not family? Does she not deserve kids? Danielle. He is willing to put up with whatever to be close to Roberta. Meanwhile, he divorced you for a woman. Y'all can't even get to answer the phone now. Do you see how crazy this is? I wonder if Danielle just watches this back, because in the scenes, each season, there's someone trying to talk sense into her. This season, it's her brother. Last season, it was her mom. Then that brother's wife, honey, she definitely gonna tell it like it is. She gonna speak her speech all over Danielle. And she gets it in the moment. But for some reason, she lets Garrick run all over her. So she's like, would you be okay with her having kids in Brazil? He's like, I wouldn't like that, but... Girl, the answer is yes. He would be okay with it and would leave to be with her, to be with his new wife and his new kid. And he'll leave you and your old kids at the house, in the States, at the compound. Girl. So she was like, when he said that, I was shocked. Like, I don't know why you would be. She's like, I'm just concerned that you wouldn't, want kids in another country, right? He's like, look, I just want to get to see them part of the year. And that's fine. I won't see them all the time, but I'll see them part of the year. And she's like, but you won't see us either. You'll only see us part of the year. And that's the plan, honey. He doesn't care about that. He don't give a damn. And Garrick is self-serving. Okay, he only cares about his needs and wants. He could care less about what you're talking about, Danielle. He's doing all this. Meanwhile, Bert is purposely letting that visa expire. And she ain't fooling me. Child. So Danielle is in the confessional. Oh, child, she got wet eyes. Again. She's like, is he gonna give us up to stay there? Danielle, I don't know why you allow Garrick to upset you. Y'all are not married anymore. Honey, pack up your clothes and move on. I would pack up my kids and hit the road, Jack. Okay? He would be looking for me in the daytime with a flashlight. Him and that translator phone. Child, I wish I would. In the next scene, Nick and the three blind mice, minus Danielle. I miss Danielle this episode. I hope they treat my Danielle right. So they're going for a walk to talk about Danielle potentially joining them. Side note, I hate when they focus in on Nick's face in this confessional. I really hate it. Hate it. I don't know if it's just me. I hate when they focus on his face, child. So, they talking. He's telling them there's plenty of room for her. And it's plenty of times that he's tried poly, but it just wasn't the right time with the right women. And a lot of people can't really be with them because they don't get how they function. You mean you can't dupe a lot of women into letting you stay your sorry behind at home and be Bill Nye the Science Guy and stay up all night long watching YouTube University and reading the Encyclopedia Britannica. And they clip your toenails in the morning and they make you bacon and eggs before they go to a 9-to-5 job. You mean that's how you function and they couldn't get with that? Oh my God, they are just so silly. You have so much to offer, Nick. Boy, gone. Moving forward. So he said he tried it before, but it didn't work because of the people. So the ladies feel like Danielle's a good fit. And Nick is like, so we all agree Danielle's in? We're good on that? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Manipulation. Yeah. Okay. Moving forward. Oh, child. Y'all know I'm crazy, honey. I can't stand Nick. Ooh, honey. Y'all want Danielle because she's a follower and she's easily influenced. But Danielle, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I've been speaking directly to you for weeks. Okay. Now, hopefully next week is y'all's last episode, honey. I'm hoping it's the season finale. But what I will say is, please do not let Nick influence you. Girl, I'm about to follow up in your DMs, okay? Because I'm about to be your big sister so I can help you escape. Because this right here ain't working for me. In the next scene, Tasha Jones. Hey, Tasha Jones, it's Mama Jones. Tasha Jones meets with Mama Jones to talk about what's happening in her life or whatever, right? Because basically, they rarely get to see each other and spend any time together. So she's like, I don't think my mom fully accepts my lifestyle. That's because your mom is smart. So they're having small talk, right? And so she starts asking about Sidian, and Tasha's like, well, he's in the Philippines. So her mom goes, well, why is he there? And she tells her about Ariel and how she's known her for 4 or 5 years and blah, 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 this and that. So she's like, you remember when I went to the Philippines? And her mom said, yeah, and you met a wife? She's like, I didn't know she was a wife then. Here go her mama. So you met a wife. Baby, that mama not playing, honey. That mom was like, yeah, I'm not about to play in my face, okay? You went there looking for that lady and you found her. She was like, I was just so shocked. This is what her mom said in a confessional. To learn that he was traveling for a woman. Like, I thought he was traveling for work. And I'm wondering, what does Sidian do for work? What do any of these people do? The only people I know that have a job are Jen and April. I'm just saying. Moving forward. So she was like, I don't know much about their lifestyle, but I'm not interested. Okay. I am a little bit curious, but just leave me out of it. So her mom is asking what made her open to, doing this whole lifestyle or whatever. And Tasha said that she just felt comfortable after talking to, other people. So mom said, so you brought her into the cult? She's like, it's not a cult, mom. Mama ain't playing with them. Let me tell you something. This episode, the family members are showing out. Okay. They the only ones with any type of sense. So Tasha goes, it's not a cult. Her mom said, Tasha, it is a cult. So she's telling us that Tasha grew up with like extended family in the home. So maybe that's where she got the idea that she needs to share her man and whatnot. So she's telling her that she feels like Ariel is going to work out. So her mom wants to know, if Sidian and Ariel get married, is she going to get married to her too? So Tasha was like, no, she'll just be married to Sidian. So her mom feels like, listen, why would you put yourself on the back burner and allow another woman to marry your man? And girl, it's Sidian. She'll be fine. Mom basically told her, listen, don't do that. You need to make sure that you're looking out for you. Mom, truth be told, your daughter is just as interested in Ariel as Sidian is. She will be okay. Whatever happens to those two, I'm pretty sure that Tasha Jones gonna be in the mix. So her mom was telling us, when she first found out that they were doing those kinds of things, it took her a while for her to accept it. So her mom is trying to explain to her that if Sidian continues to go on trips by himself, they're going to have a separate relationship and she's going to be on the outside looking in. She sure is, child. So she was like, I just feel like everything's going to be fine. And her mom said, well, I feel like it's very much a cult. Okay, one man is controlling one woman and then another woman and then another woman. Mama, let me tell you something. We see each other. When I tell you I'm with you, Mama, I mean, look at Nick and those women. It's giving pimp, cult, honey, it's giving everything negative. Nick and those women are giving everything negative. Child is a whole fool. Moving forward. In the next scene, we revisit the Epps family. So Marcus said after the disastrous date that he had with Janae, he didn't think he was ever going to hear from her again. But she's in town on a work trip. So they met up for lunch and she agreed to meet. Okay. Didn't you say she was a bartender? In town for what now? Is it a cocktail convention, honey? Is it a bartender's shoulder shaking, shimmying convention? What kind of work is she there to do? I hate how these producers think the viewing audience is dumb. Girl, you ain't a bit more there for work than the man in the moon, honey. Child, them walking in together. I was looking at them. I said, what is going on? What is going on, honey? Oh, child. So they sit down, honey, because it's better when they sit down because they're on the same level at that point. And they start talking. So she was like, when I first heard about it, I was kind of mad, but now I'm not as mad anymore. And I rock with you enough not to, completely shut you out as a person. Okay, girl, just say you with it. So he's like, so you saying this, that's a good sign. Like maybe it could go somewhere. So she gonna say, I mean, we're here, so let's just be here. The fact that you're here says that you are down to be a part of the foolishness. So he's like, well, you need to meet India and Taryn. And she's like, well, I haven't even considered anything. I haven't even concerned myself with this. Sure you haven't. You're only here for a second time. Anyway, so she's like, I just want it to be me and you. But why though? Why do you want it to be y'all? He's like, so you have a sister, right? And she was like, yeah, I got one. Why? He was like, so you have a sister and this is kind of like a sister relationship, sir. Her blood sisters don't sleep with her man and they don't share them either. So please, that was a very silly comparison. So she's like, well, how does it affect them? And he said they get jealous, but they do support each other. They support the sexual relationships and everything else. So he's trying to convince her that the concept is a dope concept. He's like, no, you just need to meet them and they can tell you their point of view. So she gets in her confessional and she's like, he did make a lot of strong points. No, he didn't. He basically said that you and your sister be sleeping with the same man and this is kind of going to be the same thing. You in or you out. That's exactly what he just said to you. He made some strong points. Girl, anyway, she was like, I'm not agreeing to it, but hypothetically, what if I did meet them? Janae, you just wasting my time, honey. The fact that you are even entertaining him tells me all I need to know. You're trying to play this, I'm not into this game, but yet you're here, back in Atlanta. So you're into it. So Marcus goes, I need the other ladies to try to convince her. Well, child, we know tearing down to convince anybody. Back on over to the Merrifields. These two are about to get back on the phone with Bert. Child, let's see if she answers. Hello? Oh, she answered, child. Hey, Roberta. Roberta the scammer. Roberta's name should come up scam likely. Roberta's scamming them, honey. And I don't care what y'all say. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. So they start, translating this conversation. And Bert says she's excited for them to come because she wants them to see her mom and she wants to talk to them. So Danielle is like, I'm just skeptical that Roberta isn't leaving because her mom only has her. Ick is in denial. He knows that Roberta is not leaving her mama. But, he just keeping hope alive and whatnot. And it's just another boring call with Garrick and all that crying that he likes to do. Danielle sitting there knowing that she should pipe up and speak her speech, but she's not saying anything to Garrick in his blouse. And I mean, really and truly, Danielle and Ick can go next season. And that was the end of the episode. It gave absolutely nothing, honey. I don't even know how I got these many minutes out of it. I mean, it gave nothing. Child, let's wrap this up next episode, honey. Let's wrap this up, child. I'm getting tired of the Three Blind Mice. I don't want to see nothing else about April and Brenda. I don't want to see Danielle and Ick. I don't want to see him cry no more, honey. I don't want to see no more tears, child. It's a fool. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.